Now, the Integrity Organization is introducing Corruption Prevention Risk Awards in partnership with Conrad Clark Nigeria Limited, the promoters of Nigeria Risk Awards. And I'd like to invite Mr. Wakim Adenusi, who is best known as Oga Risk, to speak to us about Project TAME. Can we please give him a round of applause? Sorry, just be, kindly excuse me. We have feedback forms that we would like you to fill. They're in your folder, and kindly fill them and we'll take them off you. Thank you very much.
Am I permitted to stand at just His Excellency on all the existing protocols? Thank you. We started looking at the corruption prevention risk assessment models. One of the most important challenges is the fact that people, they do know risk, but they don't know it, because there are no thorough methodologies to help to actually track it on time. And also it's assumed that we know what we're doing. So for us, working with integrity, these are the three areas we want to focus on. We want to introduce the Corruption Prevention Risk Awards, but we will look at the organization going through self-assessment. They will have to self-assess themselves first and tell us what they're doing. Then we're going to go to the public or their stakeholders to ask the stakeholders, how would you be able to validate what that particular organization is telling us? So in the future, or in another few weeks, you're going to see the website and the online where, for example, in our case study, universities, which we've decided to pilot this project with, the students in the university will be able to validate some of the comments from the academic staff regarding how they were treated, whether there are things like sex for cash or for scores, or something like a lecturer putting pressure on you. So we could ask the lecturers, for example, how are you doing with the students? They might say, okay, they're okay. And we'll go to the students and say, could you tell us about your lecturers? What are your experiences in these universities? And so we found that will help us start looking at the correlations between what the lecturers or the universities are saying and what we're getting from the students. Then the third stage, we'll be looking at independent assessors. So for this particular exercise, we decided to run at the back of the ICPC's existing project, and we selected university from 5 geopolitical zones. However, one university, Federal Ministry of Technology, now was later dropped out because of the insecurity and violence going on there. So within the remaining 11 universities, the following profiles were looked at. We sampled the students, the academic staff and non-academic staff, and also we look at other stakeholders. And there are limitations to this particular project in terms of time, sample size, geographical spreads, limited resources, and all this, remember, tonight is about recognizing effort. So we want to recognize some universities tonight that they are making effort. Now, it is not an award. I'm going to say this. We're not endorsing them. We're not here saying that we know that they're perfect. But we want to recognize efforts. And to do that, we've shortlisted top 5 universities in Nigeria that they've put structures in place to curb corruption within their campuses. And I'm going to invite to the stage to help me to announce the university, Mrs. Rashidat Aduni Okodua, MNI, the spokesperson for the ICPC, and also she is the Public Engagement Director, to come and just tell us those universities. Could you please give her a round of applause?
Your Excellency, the Acting President, Your Excellency, the
Deputy Governor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May I quickly say that I bring the goodwill of the Chairman ICPC, Mr. Ekwonta, who couldn't be here tonight, but had asked me to represent him. We didn't know the role we were supposed to play tonight. We weren't told until I arrived at the door. And let me say from the outset that ICPC had no influence on the results of this survey. But it's interesting that 2 universities that were captured in ICPC's what we call University System Study and Review, USSR. We conducted that from 2012 to 2013. 2 universities captured in our pilot scheme made it to this honors list. I'll tell you those universities as we go along. Let me also quickly say that ICPC is big on corruption prevention. And in case you're wondering, there are 3 major functions for ICPC: enforcement, that is creating deterrence for corruption, and then corruption prevention through system studies and review, blocking those loopholes that and those looking out for those vulnerabilities, system vulnerabilities that create opportunity. Corruption is an opportunistic crime. You create opportunity for it by what we've heard tonight. No controls, if there are supposed to be controls, nobody's enforcing them, nobody's asking the difficult questions. All those issues create opportunities for corruption.
And then lastly, ICPC does corruption, public education and enlightenment against corruption. So ICPC is pretty big on corruption prevention. You heard from UNDP about the many corruption risk assessments that we've done, and the acting president graciously launched or unveiled to the public the platform we created in the port sector for transparency. It's a web portal called the PSSP, Port Service Support Portal. And in June last year, the acting president unveiled that to the public, and is bringing a lot of results to us. Now, let me quickly go to the duty that I've been asked to perform, which is to announce the names of the universities in the order of the order of how they did, and starting from the rear. There were we have 5 universities that made it to the honors list. Well, like you've heard, it's not an award. It's just acknowledgement for the systems that they have seen, they've put in place. As we go along, there'll be stricter measures and things to be able to assess whether they are really genuine. But from the rear, we have in 4th position on the assessment, there are 2 universities that tied for 4th position. Now, when I announce their names, you have to clap for them, because you see, we don't celebrate integrity enough. So if anybody makes it at all to some integrity assessment list, we should clap for them. So I have Lagos State University. And also, tying with Lagos State University, we have Bayero University, Kano. In 3rd place is one of those universities I told you that we had captured in our pilot study. We had University of Nigeria, Nsukka. We had Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowoye. We also had Salem University, representing the different levels of proprietorship and also geopolitical issues. Just 3 we took, one from the North Central, that's Salem, Southwest, that's Olabisi Onabanjo, and then UNN as a Southeast. And then the proprietorship, UNN is federal, OU is state, and Salem University is private. So, making it to this honors roll tonight is one of our own pilot studies, the one we studied their systems and gave recommendations to us how to review their systems. University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I am not at all surprised that they made it to this list. In 2nd place on the assessment list, acknowledgement list, we have University of Lagos. And topping the list is Olabisi Onabanjo University. My job is done, but before I take my seat, please indulge me a few more words. To say that fighting corruption is a personal thing. Until we all make it personal to ourselves, we won't be winning this war. We'll listen to the honoree of tonight, Dr. Christopher Kolade, telling us that we need to celebrate integrity. We need to understand that integrity pays. And until we begin to have that in our own personal psyche, we cannot make the difference we're trying to achieve. You can't be one thing in the public domain and you're something else at home. It's not possible. So you have to be consistent yourself, maintain integrity within yourself, that what you are at home is what you are elsewhere in the public domain. We have to make it personal. Somebody once told me, we're doing a corruption risk assessment of e-government platforms right now. And at System Spec, somebody said something that I will never forget. He said he wanted someone to emotionally own. There was something we were discussing about. And I said, that's really the expression. We should own the anti-corruption crusade emotionally, because it's a personal thing to us. It's personal in terms of its impact, negative impact on us. And it's personal in terms of the values that we need to change it. I want to thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
And just finally, I want to thank the team that worked with me on this, to say thank you for all the effort. But most importantly, if we fail to manage risk in Nigeria, our performance will be going down the drain. And this particular corruption is one of the risks, the threat to this nation, our reputation, our capital, our finance, and our future for our children. Thank you very much.